Hello my friends, AmyR here with Prairie Paper and Ink. Welcome back to my channel and another STAMPtember limited edition exclusive video. This is actually two collaborations. I have two videos going up today, this one being the second one. This collaboration is with Memory Box. And Memory Box makes so many good wafer dies and stamp sets. And they actually design a lot of my favorite Simon Says Stamp wafer dies, because Dave, one of the owners at Memory Box, designs a lot of the wafer dies for Simon Says Stamp as well. So I'll have links to all the things, as always, and a reminder with the limited edition STAMPtember collaborations, these are one and done, so when they sell out, they're not restocked, but the brands have so many fabulous things to choose from, and I'll have a link to the Memory Box brand. Definitely worth checking out, because, there's so many good ones. So many good ones. So, this is the Good Cheer set. It's got these cute little penguins, and there's a little snowman too, and other little images. I took these two little penguins, and I stamped them onto Neenah Classic Crest Solar White 110-pound cardstock with Simon's Black Premium Dye ink. And then I pulled out some pattern paper. This specific pack, this was from the Doodlebug Winter Wonderland line that came out, I don't even remember how many years ago. Those that have watched my content for, 2019. Oh yeah, it's old. Those that have watched my content for a long time. I have had a soft spot for Doodlebug for many, many years, and I have curated quite a collection. So I pulled out this pack, and I had stamped parts of these images onto it because we're going to do some paper piecing. I just did a video. That will have been yesterday. I have so much content I'm filming and posting and trying to remember the dates of things. I can't remember. I'm pretty sure it was the Art Impressions STAMPtember collab. I think that goes up the day before this one. And I did paper piecing in that one. And I used to do it a lot. And it's fun. So we'll get to it in a second. So I used some Copic markers. Any alcohol markers will work to add some color to these guys. Super simple because they're penguins. That's what I love about them. It's very easy coloring. So I did, again, super, super simple coloring. Only coloring the areas that needed to be. Their little scarves and part of this hat are separate, or toque. I am Canadian. It's a toque. It's not a beanie. It's a toque. Just fight me on it. Anyway, with paper piecing. I stamp the images onto pattern paper, and then I'm using my favorite pair of detail cutting scissors to cut them out. Whatever your scissors of choice are. And the thing to remember with paper piecing is you cut right on the line. I don't leave a gap, from the stamp line out. I cut right on the line. And the cut doesn't have to be perfect because we're going to fix that once everything's trimmed out. And honestly, the only difficult thing for me is trying to film this. I need to hold it up to my face so I can see what I'm doing. So I'm trying to if you guys could only see me, I'm trying to hold my arms out, and cut at the same time. It's not the easiest. So I showed what I could, and then I just turned the camera off and trimmed these pieces out, which wasn't difficult. It was that little bit of fringe, which honestly, you could just cut that off and then just color that little bit on the actual cardstock that's stamped. With paper piecing, you can do whatever you want. And it's fun. It's a way to add these patterns that you can do this with markers, kind of, but it would take forever, Way more time than it would for me to just stamp it, trim it, and do this. So much easier and super cute. So, after I've trimmed them out, I take a black marker. This is a Tsukineko, Memento TUXEDO black marker. I do not recommend using any sort of alcohol marker for this because the paper will absorb the alcohol marker and it will look furry, really, fuzzy. It's just the nature of using an alcohol marker. So I prefer a marker like this because this will not smear with alcohol inks and it just does the job. And I did that with the side of the marker all along the edges of these cutout pieces because that black marker covers the exposed edge of the cardstock or pattern paper. And it's a subtle thing and it's really hard to show on camera, but it legit makes a difference because it makes everything look seamless. Because as you see, when I adhere it, it all just looks like it's just there. You know, you don't see the exposed edges of the paper because it just feeds right into the stamp lines. And you could stop here. You could just cut them out, edge it with the black marker, and adhere into place. But this final step of adding the bit of shading to the pattern paper pieces brings it all together, you know, and then everything looks more seamless and more finished. So the thing to remember with adding any sort of shading is a lot of times you need to go darker than you would expect because the pattern paper is not white cardstock. So if you're not sure, just grab a scrap of the paper you're planning on coloring on and like scribble on some markers and then let them dry. Because even though alcohol markers dry really quick, you'd be surprised when you first apply it while it's wet. It's like, oh, that looks great. And then a few minutes later, it's like, it's gone because it's dried. So experiment. So I always just go a little bit darker. For this, I just use most of the time with paper piecing. I just use warm grays. It's just habit. I used to do a lot of paper piecing back in the day. So much of it. It's been kind of fun pulling it out again and doing it because, like, look at it. Look at them. Look how adorable they are. Oh, they're little pattern scarves and his little pattern toque. Can't. I love it. So then my final little bit was to take my white gel pen and just add little random highlights because, again, it's just adorable. You know, this is such a cute set. I love it. Memory box, you totally outdid yourself. Stop it. So anywho, when I was done with that, I did have the coordinating wafer dies. However, fussy cutting those little guys out would have been so easy, like pretty basic and less work than even doing the paper piecing. But anywho, I die cut them. And then my card base is a top folding A2 white note card. And on the inside of the card, I stamped one of the little penguins with Simon's flannel Pawsitively saturated ink because there's a nice light gray, just to give the inside a little extra something. And then I took another one of the sentiments from that Good Cheer stamp set, and I'm stamping that with the black ink. And that's going to finish off the inside of the card. And then for the outside of the card, I trimmed down one of the other pattern papers from the pack. Look at me using some of my collection. Oh, I have so much Doodlebug. I love this stuff. Like, it's adorable. It's adorable. So I adhered that to my card front. And then I used Simon's circle wafer dies, like the basic shaped circles, as well as the scallop circles. And I die cut a circle of cardstock. And then I die cut a scallop circle from Simon's Cornflower blue cardstock. And then on the white circle, I stamped the little snowflake images from the Good Cheer stamp set with 3 different shades of Simon Pawsitively saturated inks. I used SEAFOAM, Lilac, and Sweets just to add those little snowflakes, you know, just to finish it off. And then I'd also white heat embossed one of the sentiments onto a scrap of Simon's dull pink cardstock. And then I die cut a second one because I'm going to glue those together as well just to give the sentiment a little bit more dimension. And then Baker's Twine, which is also by Doodlebug. Doodlebug makes my favorite Baker's Twine. I'm not sure what they're doing with their Baker's Twine. They used to have a lot more colors, and I don't think they're making all the colors anymore. And that makes me really sad. Because, again, you guys know I get finicky. I can, like, start splitting hairs over, like, a splatter and, you know, just certain things that I will get really picky about. Baker's Twine is one of them. Doodlebug's Baker's Twine is the absolute best. I love it. The colors, because they're Doodlebug colors, and just the feel of it. Oh, anyway. They need to bring back all the colors and then some. That's my vote. So I wrapped that around the card front, tied it in a bow, and then I adhered that circle that I adhered to the little scallop circle, and then adhered the sentiment to the other scrap that I had die cut as well, just to, again, give it that bit of dimension. And then my little penguins, I am going to pop up with some thin foam squares just to also give them just a little bit of lift. And then I'm going to do the same thing with the sentiment. So, seriously, so cute. So pop that into place. And then my final just little embellishment is some Rainbow Splash gem stickers. These are self-adhesive, so just peel and stick. So I just use my little die pick and peel them off, press them into place. And once I've got those in place, that finishes off this card. And these cute little penguins with their cute little scarves. I just can't even. So, like I mentioned, I will have links to all of the things. And if you haven't seen my other video today, that will be on my channel as well. And you can check that out. And that is it from me. As always, I appreciate you all hanging out with me. thumbs upping and commenting, letting them robot overlords know you like what you see. I appreciate it. It helps a ton. Subscribe if you haven't. I'd love to have you, and I'll see you all very soon in the next video. Bye. Thank you so much to my amazing Patreon supporters. For anyone that might be interested in joining my Patreon community and supporting me, the link to my Patreon is in the description box below the video. For everyone else, as always, thank you all so much for taking the time to watch my videos, for thumbs upping, commenting, subscribe if you haven't, I'd love to have you. And here's a couple other videos for you to check out in case you missed them. Bye!